Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, April 8th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, we are looking at TSLL. To be technical, it's an ETF. But nonetheless, it's measuring Tesla and it allows you to trade Tesla in more of a leveraged way, meaning it moves very quickly and very popular out there. So want to keep an eye on it. So let's first map out the initial level that I think a lot of people are probably watching. So I don't think this trend line here is anything special. I think a lot of people have drawn it. So you look through the history, and by connecting that point with that point, did a good job of forecasting all that, which did a good job of forecasting that. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price were to come up to this area and actually get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. Again, not guaranteed to happen, but I don't think anybody could cause you crazy for thinking that, if the price breaks that trend line, I could see that generated, more upside buying pressure. So I think that's going to be a level that a lot of people will care about. And then on the flip side of things, in terms of areas of support, let me change that to green for support. I think a lot of people, and this is an important area right here around $6.90. And I'm not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down here and then just continue on down, what would be occurring at that point? Well, now all of a sudden you'd have the price having gone right back to where it was. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make nice bounces and then go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why I would consider $6.90 a very, very important area of support. But all in all, nice bounce on the day. Let's see if the price can get more momentum on Tuesday. Next one here, SUNE, an absolute train wreck, crazy day. A good example of why people hopefully use stop losses, because the true story is there are some poor souls that were buying here and that were buying the dip. And yeah, that just kept on going down. Just a crazy day. With all that being said, we now have a very interesting scenario because the price at this point, after this nasty drop, has, with a little bit of a bounce, started to go sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has started to go sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed this thing is going to curl back upwards and get a bounce, even if it's just a dead cat bounce. I'm only saying it's much more plausible. Case in point, let's say that the price, was still, came down and it was still doing something like this, dropping. And then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this might be a bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, wait, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally just going straight down. But that's not the case here. It has at least started to go sideways. Again, that doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed bottom. There's just more plausibility that maybe, just maybe, the selling pressure is over and maybe, just maybe, this thing is going to, maybe, even if it's just a dead cat bounce, from a trading standpoint, a dead cat bounce where it maybe goes here and then comes back down. Again, from a trading vantage point, this sort of movement from like there to there, there's a lot of profit that could be made if you are some sort of day trader. But no doubt about it, absolutely bloodshed today. But with the sideways movement, is this the leading indicator of maybe more of a bounce to come? We'll see what happens. Next one here, SOXL, another one of these ETFs that's very popular right now, and one of these areas where you got to think that a lot of people have probably drawn a trend line very similar to that. So as I talked about on the first one, TSLL, nothing is guaranteed, but is it valid? Is it reasonable that if the price could come up here and push up through there, that break right there could generate additional buying pressure? I think that is a more than plausible scenario. So keep an eye on that. With that being said, even if the price does break through the red line, don't get me wrong, that's a good step in the right direction, but not that far away. You then have the purple line up there, the 50-period moving average, that would need to be dealt with. So keep that in mind too. But one hurdle at a time. Let's just first see if the price can even break above that hurdle right there as resistance. In terms of levels of support, same general idea about, yeah, the price did make a nice bounce today, but that's where 825, very, very important in my opinion, because yes, the price was down here. Yes, it's up here. But if the price were to come down there and then drop down below it, what do you have? Well, now you have the price essentially going right back to where it was, which, as we've already discussed, not exactly a sign of genuine power. So overall, good bounce today. Can there be more momentum? And can the price start to build some higher bases in the next coming days? We'll see what happens. Next one, LCID. We have a couple of key levels here that, again, I don't think this is anything special to me drawing, but from an overarching level of support, if we put that trend line in right there, I think that's a key level to watch, because just from a broad scope of things, as long as the price stays above that line, then by definition, the price is building higher lows, and assuming you're bullish, that's what you want. From a big picture standpoint, no price is going to go straight up, as nice as that would be, but you do at least want to see progress being made, progress being defined as higher lows, and higher lows would be, required in order to stay above this trend line right here. So from the overarching standpoint, in terms of areas of support, that is now a level where moving forward, if the price can stay above there, that is a good sign. And then in regards to areas of resistance, I think it bounced right off there. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm slightly wrong. So right there at about $2.54, you can see right there the price rejected off it a couple times. And then today, it actually went slightly above it by a little bit. But point here being 254 public enemy number one. If the price can push up through that level, then no guarantees. But I think more than realistic to think that the price could go up there and test these highs up here. But all in all, good solid opening day for the range. Good solid opening day and for the momentum in the upwards direction. And we'll see if the price can indeed make a push back up to that area of resistance. Next one here, NVDA, NVIDIA. And once again, I think we're getting these areas here where you're starting to get this territory where a lot of people are drawing lines very similar to this, especially that trend line right there. And you can see that today the price has come up and bumped its head off that level several times. But like another, I don't remember which it was, you want to be a little careful. Don't get me wrong, breaking that resistance line is a good thing, assuming you're bullish, but not that far away. You have lurking up overhead the 50-period moving average right there. So if anything, maybe the more accurate way to call this is right here is just kind of more so a resistance zone on the chart. So keep in mind that resistance zone. Don't get overly excited if it breaks that red line because you do have that purple line. But if it can break through both of those things, well, then at that moment, one of those situations where, okay, you could very realistically get more momentum and find more buyers in the upwards direction. And then in terms of areas of support, once again, we just have this idea of can the price make progress? So I'm going to go through this quicker because you've already heard me talk about it. But what I would call the quote-unquote progress point right here at $91.80. What you don't want to see happen is for the price to come down there and then break down below it, because as we discussed, now all of a sudden you have the price essentially going right back to where it was. But if the price comes down here, bounces around, and then it works its way back upwards, now all of a sudden what do you have? Well, you have a set of lows there. You have lows there. If you envision each of those as stair steps, you got the stair steps making progress in the upward direction. So in my opinion, that 91.80, very, very important from a support standpoint. But yeah, right now it's knocking on the door of this area of resistance. Can it break through? Grab your popcorn for Tuesday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description area you can use to click on, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, looking at PLTR, and I'm kind of a broken record, but again, with as crazy as things have been, a lot of these have the same general patterns. So we have this overarching trend line here, but the thing with this one is basically it's the same value of that purple line, the 50-period moving average. So I know in the other ones I was saying, well, just because the red line's broken, be careful of the purple line, the 50-period. But in this situation, I mean, it's not exact, but it's essentially if the price does break through the red line there, it's essentially breaking through the purple line there, which then puts the next potential target price up there around the pink line there. The 200-period moving average right now valued at 86.50, but we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. One breakout at a time. And again, that first key breakout right there, which is kind of the double whammy. You have the resistance trend line, and then you also have the 50-period moving average. In terms of areas of support, as we've been discussing, what is this progress point? Well, I would say the progress point in this situation right there at 71.75. I'm not going to go through that anymore. You now understand that if the price stays above there, that would be building higher stair steps. And if it goes down below there, it's basically drifting back to where it was, which from a bullish standpoint is not what you want to see. But keep an eye on 71.75 as a key support. And then all eyes on this double whammy area of resistance right there. Next one, HOOD, Hood. So for Robinhood here, and yeah, you best that we once again have some well-defined trend lines, but we're back in this situation of, yes, just because it breaks the red line there, don't get overly excited because not that far away you have the 50-period moving average. So keep in mind that dynamic right there. And I know a lot of these are the same setup, but that's just kind of how the market's been. It's been so volatile that it's molding and shaping. Most stocks essentially look the same way in many regards, or at least I should say the more popular stocks out there, which is what Robinhood is. And then as far as the quote-unquote progress point and main area of support to watch moving forward, I would definitely consider that right there around $32.70. But all in all, very nice bounce from its lows. Let's see if it can get more momentum on Tuesday. Next one, MKDW, penny stock here with a very, very nice pattern. So let's get this pattern drawn into motion here. So we have this. Now, I realize this isn't exact, but all I'm trying to do here is convey that there has been a pullback. So we have that as an area of resistance. We have this as the area of support. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let me keep it all one color here. So we have our area of resistance. We have our support. We have the big move up right there. And for you golfers, let me make it a little bit more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here. So here we're looking at a bull pennant pattern. Just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But would it be shocking? Would it catch people off guard if the price came up here, broke through there, and then that break right there created additional buying pressure? I don't think that would necessarily catch anybody off guard. But if you like penny stocks, if you like bull pennant patterns, here you go. Next one here, SQQQ. And overall, the trend remains up. Had a very crazy pullback here. Did recover from it. But from an overarching standpoint, main area of resistance at, oops, wanted to do a different one. There we go. Main area of resistance, if there is any sort of attempted move back upwards, right there around $53.65. And as I've said a million times, I might say a million more times, there are no guarantees. But if the price were to come up here and break through 53.65, especially if it's a high volume break, so you're looking down here and it's a very big high volume break, then again, no guarantees, but I think it's more than valid to think the price could then make another run up and at least do battle and, kind of back test this area up around there. So keep an eye on that 53.65 mark, as that's a very intriguing level. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, just from the overarching standpoint, I just continue to watch that purple line there, which you now know is the 50-period moving average. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. And as long as price stays above that line, which is increasing, well then by definition, that implies that the price is increasing, which keeps things in an overall uptrend. So overall though, in my opinion, 53.65, definitely the most interesting dynamic here. So we'll see if it comes into play on Tuesday or not. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And like a lot of these other ones, we have the same general idea here. So let's get this area of resistance into play. There we go. So we have that level right there. Got to think a lot of people will be watching. Now the good news here is there's quite a bit of space where you could scalp, meaning if the price were to break the red line before it even gets up to the purple line, I mean that's a respectable amount of space from there to there. A lot of those other ones, that purple line was basically right on top of that trend line, but that's not the case here. So that's where there's a little bit different. Again, that all depends on your strategy too. But from a scalping standpoint, that's quite a bit of wiggle room before you'd have to worry about potentially the next main area of resistance. So that's a little bit of a different dynamic. But then in terms of kind of the progress point and making sure that this current bounce does have some genuine power behind it, I would consider that progress point right there at about $223.70. So overall, very impressive bounce from the lows where it was here to where it is right now. But is this thing going to pull back and then make a move back upwards? That's the big question mark to see moving forward. But if you like Tesla, it's trying to bottom out. It's got a nice little bounce to it, but can it push up through this trend line? Grab that popcorn. So that wraps up the top 10 list. And again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool and everything, then again, we'll be offering this class later on this week, Thursday, April 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. Make sure you get signed up. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, then as always, please hit that like button. And if you're looking for a very free and easy way to support the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, as it really does help out. So thanks for watching. Make sure you get signed up for the free class. Take care.